Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. Sorry, once again, no camera. Having a little bit of trouble with that, but at least the sound is working today. So, welcome home once again, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is an interesting day. Got a bit of a rally today going on. I think a lot of that might be due to the fact that the Yellen has been ensuring everybody that the banks are stable, getting better, and that all is wonderful. And even if a second round of loan of deposit backing is needed, she's got it covered. So anyway, good news. That is basically causing a bit of a market rally. Definitely seeing it in crypto. Sorry about it. Once again, no camera, but that's all right. BitcoinDailyView.com. Got more for you there. Next time I do promise I'm going to do the part of the show with the gas mask on to encourage everyone to get one because interesting times. BitcoinDailyView.com right there at the top. Get yourself a gas mask. Seriously. I know it sounds crazy, but you'll thank me later. Anyway, in fact, if you don't get one, maybe you won't be able to thank you. Yeah, you won't thank me. But if you do get one, you will thank me. Okay, anyway, looking at Bitcoin trading explicitly. Oh, once again, welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Tuesday, March 21st. 11 a.m. The day that they're going to arrest Trump, supposedly. We'll see how that goes. I sincerely have my doubts that's going to happen. Like them, hate them, whatever. I just don't see it. We'll see if I'm right. Anyway, if I'm right, I'm right. If not, it doesn't really matter. 15 billion in Bitcoin trading volume today. That's okay for a Tuesday. So good enough trading volume. Definitely not low, not outrageously high. Down 33% last 24 hours. Looking at Bitcoin wrecked, basically liquidations were under 10 million last hour. So basically they're not too high. Bitcoin hasn't done anything too radical as far as dump or pump recently in the last hour. Oh, right now we're just above 10 million. So it's kind of on the high side of a normal, really 2 to 5 million, or should you say like 2 to 5 million in wrecks last hour. It's kind of what I usually expect to see on kind of a calm day. So, slightly sparky, slightly above average wrecks last hour. People are always trying to like get those longs and shorts in and make money. But I'm not sure if Bitcoin is really certain of any direction. So I'm not sure why y'all are throwing millions away. 24-hour wrecks under 200 million. So we're going to call that kind of an easy day. Looking at the crypto universe in squares, XRP up 21% last 24 hours. That's pretty darn massive. I like seeing that. I think that's due to some kind of a court case which is happening right now. I don't know why, but ADA Cardano is up pretty well, and so is XLM. And XLM, what are you? Yeah, Stellar Lumens are up. So we've got some things definitely making a move today, and I like seeing that. Bitcoin up. It's been above 28,000 recently. It's up 1.2%. Like seeing that. Ethereum up 2% right now. That all keeps varying, but in general, the crypto universe in squares is mostly green with some deep green here and there. I think we might be seeing the beginning of a rally today, and maybe some alts that we can all get into and make some money, or just sit in Bitcoin. Maybe that will continue up. With that said, FinViz, looking at the Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P 500, all of them are just barely kind of they're sideways. I mean, really, Dow up right now 0.35%, Nasdaq up 0.95, and S&P 500 up 0.68. I mean, in general, just nothing too exciting. It's a truly sideways S&P 500 right now, and that does to me denote everybody's waiting until Friday in the traditional markets to truly figure out what direction things are going to go. Is the interest rate going to be 0.25% or 0.5%? We shall see. 25 basis points or 50 basis points. I think each are probably figured in, but it seems like the market probably is going to want to know what actually gets nailed down. I would like to say tomorrow morning I'm going to be up early watching for either a rally or a dump, and I think that regardless of what the interest rates do, whether they're going to be up or down, we sometimes do get a rally or a dump leading up to market open. So be ready to hop in that if you want to be a white knuckle crazy ass crypto trader. With that said, Tesla up 6.8%, Amazon 2.36%, Google 3.5%, Apple 0.99%. In general, doing pretty good. The oil and gas sector is just green like crazy. Credit services doing pretty darn well. Insurance all pretty darn well. Communication services looking pretty good. Consumer defensive definitely sucking ass in the red pretty hard. Microsoft down 0.24%. Good. Nvidia up 0.48%. That makes sense. With that said, let's look at what's going on here. We've got crude oil today making a comeback. It definitely lost the upwards trend that it had a while ago. And we'll see how that goes. I have a sneaking suspicion by the end of the week, this might even be back where it started. I think it'll be back in that groove. Not that I'm rooting for high gas prices, but it seems like even though I had this dump in crude oil, or oil spot basically per barrel, I'm not seeing it in the gas pumps, at least here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's getting kind of saucy, those gas prices once again. So anyway, sanity as this goes up, and sanity as it goes down. So right now when it's going up, I always feel that just the markets in general are kind of healthier than when it's dumping. I know it sounds crazy, but I am an intuitive nutcase, and so I kind of find strange dots to connect in very etheric and eclectic places. So U.S. dollar strength index, it has not regained that 314 moving average today. So basically, it's lost its upwards momentum. It's kind of going sideways. It is playing with, if I fire up a ray right here, let me fire up array, horizontal array. It does look like it's kind of finding support on previous support. So let's see what happens with this guy. Dollar strength index in the red today, losing that 314 moving average. So it's below the 200, below the 314. This is a good thing. It's dumping. That is in general, good for the world, good for the market. Gives the market a little bit of room to breathe. So DXY, just keep crashing towards hell where you come from, and leave the earth plane. Go away. All right, S&P 500 open with the gap, looking good, very, very slight. In general, what's nice is that it continues moving away from the 200 moving average on the daily, and I'll take it. Getting ready to challenge that 50 moving average pretty soon, and that ain't a bad deal. All right, US Tech 100. We're going to look at that instead of Bitcoin for a while because it's just, I think it does have a value, like the US Tech 100 or not. I think it is a good marker, and it now is, after making a 200 moving average bounce on the daily, it is actually challenging at 314. And looks like it will find a break above and support above it today. That is pretty darn groovy. So, not oftentimes, and I bet that it's also inspired by a falling DXY. All right, so gold today, sucking ass hard, dumping. Why? Don't know. Dollar strength index is weak. Gold should be strong. Ain't the case. Reality is broken, and it has been since about 2019. Okay, so silver dumping also, maybe finding support in the 50 moving average. We'll see. Don't know why those are dumping so hard, but they certainly are. Definitely shenanigans are afoot. Big buys coming in. I'm seeing 5 million, 2 million, 1 million, lots of buys in the millions for Bitcoin. This is looking at all the big exchanges, the sources like Bybit, Deribit, Binance, FTX. Well, FTX ain't there no more. It's actually just nixed that. That's kind of retarded. Anyway, get rid of all those. They weren't quantifying anything anyway, but Coinbase, Bybit, BitMEX, Bitfinex, Binance, and Binance is the big one, and Coinbase too. So anyway, this is just basically showing us, what's going on here. Got a 15-minute chart. You can see a gradual increase. Still has been going on for quite a while on the 15-minute chart. Bitcoin's definitely kind of choppy, kind of sideways, but definitely with a slight upwards trend. Looking at the 15-minute chart, you can kind of see it's starting to make some higher highs and some higher lows. So we'll see how that rolls. We'll look at different time frames so we can see this a little bit better. But in general, 15-minute chart's pretty nice. One of the things I like about this chart ever since about 3:15 a.m. on March 17th. Yeah, a couple days ago. We are seeing people are not trying to long and short so aggressively. We're seeing a lot fewer longs and shorts getting wrecked. Whenever you have a big spike, you see some longs or shorts getting wrecked. But in general, I'm noticing that people, and also looking at the order books and such, I'm not seeing such an aggressive desire to long or short, which I kind of just like seeing. It tends to be a bit of a calmer market. Whenever there's too much volatility, there's a lot of longs or shorts get stacked up, and then the exchanges just basically wreck those because they don't want to cover it. So I find that a gradual uptrend or even a gradual sideways, and you can even work with gradual downtrend, but something gradual enough that actually doesn't offer the market the ability to so aggressively long and short tends to just make for easier alt trading. That's just my opinion, So anyway, a nice smooth day. No one's trying to short. No one's trying to long too hardcore with leverage. I'm noticing an unusual amount, some sells too, but an unusual amount of large buys coming in today on the order book. So that's a good sign. Looks like to me, some big money, the kind of money that plays in the millions is definitely stacking some stats. And as far as I can tell, is probably planning on keeping those. So you never know. The big money tends to know, in my opinion, how many basis points and what exactly is going to happen as far as market reaction tomorrow. So I'm going to take this as kind of a strange, eclectic sign of possible rally. That's just high octane speculation. Okay, so do with it what you will. In general, the top 20 exchanges are all in the red right now, except for MEXC. Interesting little exchange. I use it. It's pretty cool. But in general, the top 20 exchanges are in the red. Volume is just pretty darn low today, although Bitcoin trading volume explicitly is not too bad. Looking at derivatives, 66 billion, that's still a lot. That is still a lot. I mean, 50 billion is good, 60 billion is nice, 70 billion is really, really good. It's down 14% last 24 hours, coming in at 66 billion. I would just recommend everybody watch out for some big Darth Maul dojis coming, because I have a feeling that the exchanges want to shake that. That's just a lot of leverage, and they probably want to get rid of it. So beware. It just takes one exchange to, fart a few billion in or a coordinated across exchange, fart of a few billion, market seller long, and they're going to just basically take care of that that leverage problem they don't want to deal with. So longs versus shorts on Binance, 40% long, 40% long, 59% short. So pretty much 40% long, 60% short. Definitely. Somebody's expecting some retrace here on Bitcoin for sure, where the big money is there on Binance. So watch out, definitely a short bias. Looking at Bitcoin recently on the 4-hour chart, as you can see, powerful break above the 200 and the 314, moving up, looking wonderful. This is just extraordinary. Bitcoin doing quite well, coming in at 28,000 right now, 28,033. I like what I'm seeing there. It's pushing hard. When you're in, Pumplandia like this, it can be hard to really, navigate. So just be careful, because really, we definitely could see a retrace coming in. This is a lot of push. And also, do note here in the 4-hour chart, we do have the directional index. I'm sorry, the squeeze indicator is declining. Directional index is declining. SMU binary candles. I haven't been using those so much lately, but definitely they are declining. And of course, volume overall, if we look, and this is a culmination of buy and sell volume. I'm sorry about that. As we can see, in general, volume's kind of decreasing. SMU binary candles. Let me nix those. So anyway, these are the indicators I'm using these days. So anyway, 4-hour chart, very, very powerful, lots of pumps, strong stuff, but definitely the indicators are beginning to show that we're going to go sideways, maybe take a bit of a retrace. Looking at immediate price action, like here on the 45-minute chart, beautiful upwards channel. If I was going to be honest, I think really the channel should be more like something like this, really. And we've kind of sideways out of it, but here on the 45-minute chart, we're still well above the 200 moving average in the 314. And then actually here, when we look at it, it's interesting. We're starting to see a little bit of a push here on the squeeze indicator. So maybe we'll get back in that channel. Directional index is a bit hard to read, but it is in general positive. ADX is starting to dump. Volumes in general kind of perky but sideways. So I would just beware. Definitely, if I was to look at this, I'm kind of seeing a very, very common pattern that we oftentimes see, especially with these big buys we have coming in for Bitcoin. It really makes me wonder, at least as I see them with a somewhat superficial view, but I am wondering if we're starting one of these, one of these deals. It's kind of upwards, though. It's kind of lending towards upwards, isn't it? So kind of a slightly upward sideways. And that's definitely, just to me, looking at these, if we fire this up here, look at these strong pumps that it's got. These are the candles by Sam. Every time you get 3 or more consecutive bodies of the candles, candle bodies in a row stacking, that gives you purple. And the more of these purples, these purple runs, and of course yellow is when it dumps. So you can see here was it kind of holding on to downwards velocity. You can see that in those candles by Sam. And here's some upwards velocity. And the more you stack these 3 or more purple candles, meaning that the body's lined up perfectly, that to me is very, very bullish. So really, I would just be watchful. We're in a volatile time. A lot of money is moving, a lot of craziness in the world, a lot of craziness in the market. So just play your game accordingly. I do kind of like that we're seeing this. Like I say, I'm being a little superficial, high octane speculation. Bear with me, but I do see that slight uptrend sideways this morning. Big buys coming in. Let's see what happens. Definitely, I think I'm kind of watching for what's going to unveil itself tomorrow morning when those when the interest rates get figured out. I know crypto is crypto. People don't like to actually compare it to the traditional markets, but something going to happen tomorrow. That's all I can tell you with the interest rates. So it's going to be positive or negative, but we'll find out when it happens. And of course, pre-market could be positive or negative, and then when the actual numbers come out, when Powell is speaking, the market could continue pumping or turn around really hard. So myself, I like to get in and either just short it or long it as before the market opens, because it usually starts moving, and then I'm out before Mr. Powell starts speaking. Anyway, with that said, I got a fib sequence going here. Let's see what happens. If it does dump, I mean, if we get a retrace, the 200 moving average is on a 236 at around 26,370. I'll take that. 0.382 is on the 25,073. 0.5, is a good spot too. 20,000 and 24,024. So just be watchful, and we definitely could see. Depending on how tomorrow the interest rates go, we could see bounces down to these fib levels, which do kind of correspond to the moving averages also that are important. So just watch. I don't quite see a 618 bounce happening no matter what, unless kind of we really, really dump. But in general, pretty healthy Bitcoin. So let's see what happens. Bitcoin, like a lot of the market, is waiting to see what happens with interest rates tomorrow. Okay, so let's keep on rocking here. And I guess, well, the daily and the 3-day and the 4-hour I'll look at too. So we'll just leave it at that. XRP versus USDT. I've been watching this one because XRP has been moving so hard today. This is a 5-minute chart, and this thing's just out of control. It's starting to kind of sideways off. We'll see if it has more zoom in it or not. I got a trailing take profit in a little while ago, so it may click soon. But in general, 5-minute charts looking great for XRP versus USDT. The 45-minute chart, as you can see, it just took off. We're getting a little bit of a plateau here. Looking at the indicators, I don't quite see how much further this thing could go, but look at this insane volume here in the 45-minute chart. That's just nuts. So anyway, big money is rolling into it. It's kind of extended. Here's the 8 moving average. It'll probably kind of come down to that soon. But I'm kind of my trailing take profit, like I say, will probably click off pretty soon. But here's the deal. If you do a fib sequence on this and just watch, it wouldn't surprise me if it actually comes down to the 382 and finds it sideways or keeps going. So just watch this one, because news is pumping XRP right now. It's either going to continue or not. But I think it's kind of topping off right now. So I'm going to watch for a possible location where it retraces and moves back up if it stays strong, depending on how that news plays out. And I forget there's some kind of stuff going on about it. It's in the news. News is pumping it. XRP, that is. XMR, I love my Monero. It's, like I say, it made me a few percent since yesterday, gradually moving up here in this upwards channel. It's kind of starting to sideways out. It's riding that 200. That 200 moving average is not really pushing up too hard right now. I mean, it's kind of trending sideways. It's right at the bottom of this channel. Indicators are kind of flaccid. Let me get rid of this. Me binary candles. In general, we'll see what happens. But like I say, I just was watching XMR because I got a feeling, but it's getting really hard to play. This is I hopped on this 200 bounce, ended up making a little bit. My trailing take profit, I think, probably already clicked off, but I'm just saying, let's see what happens. You never know. We might get lucky and have a bounce down here, firm bounce, then a move up. I'm just watching it. We'll see what happens. XMR, Monero, I think it, like I say, I just have a feeling that it's going to play a role in the world today. That it is playing a role. So just keep an eye on that, All right, here we go. Let's really quick go through some news, okay? UK sending depleted uranium shells to Ukraine, tantamount to using dirty bombs, says the Kremlin. And if I look at some of the comments that we've got here, you can't see these over to the side. I'm not sharing this section here, but you got Z and you got, Putin chatting, and Shogu, he's like the, I think, Minister of Defense over there in Russia. He says they have taken one more step on the escalation ladder. There is less and less left. And then Putin said the West has really decided to fight down to the last Ukrainian. If UK delivers depleted uranium ammo, Russia will be forced to react. And then Shogu said, we will give serious thought as to how we will respond. Anyway, long story, but the thing is that just so you know, those people who are out there living, if you're not really news watchers, this has sincerely 100% pissed off the Russians. And regardless of what side you're on, of this, this is very, 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 very bad idea, because Russia will seriously start losing its freaking mind if we. And also think about this. this is the Ukraine. It is the most fertile growing area in the world, one of them. As we're having sun cycles changing, like grand solar minimums and maximums right now, it's kind of coming online at like more so than ever before. It's really essential. You do not want to fill the soil up with depleted uranium shells. This is just dumb on so many levels. The collective Western leaders they're just children. This is stupid. Also, this is one that was kind of interesting. Field test of FPV drones with MON-50s. That's a claymore for you non-military types. Modern warfare is so brutal, man. It's a claymore mine, but it has wings and eyes, and it actively hunts you. I mean, this thing is like, I mean, oh my gosh, they're sticking a claymore anti-personnel mine on a drone, flying it around with a little camera, and then like blasting people with it. This is like, I mean, I don't know. Like, wow, that's brutal. That's very, very brutal. I'm surprised it can even carry it. GOP lawmakers demand Biden's send ban cluster munitions to Ukraine. It's a funny story because actually these have been being sent, as far as I know, I do believe, since about 2014, been given to the extreme right nationalist militias, and they've been pretty much bombing cities with these ever since 2014. So I don't know why they're calling for them. They've been using them for quite some time. Sweeping butterfly mines from cluster bombs off your front porch is kind of daily life in Donbass, and it has been for a long time. But for whatever reason, they seem to want to, I don't know what the point of the story is, because they've already had them for quite a while. Not sure who they're giving them to that didn't have them. This, don't need that. Hopefully that didn't cause reverb. This is an interesting one, and I'm just going to go through these all really quick, just to cover some of the geopolitical reality at the moment. The relationship between Putin and Xi is a marriage of convenience that gives China an ally against the West, and Russia supplies and waging war against Ukraine. This guy Kirby, whoever this ass clown is, and he says President Putin needs President Xi because he's running out of ammunition. That's absolutely false. No, he's not. The thing about it is America's got the most expensive military in the world. But the thing about the Russian state, or you say, Russia, is that the way our politics work in the military-industrial complex, we want to make things that make a lot of money, like F-22s, F-35s, et cetera, like that, like HIMARS. We want the contractors, the defense companies want to make a lot of money. What you don't make a lot of money in is things like howitzer ammunition. Basically artillery. Artillery wins wars on the battlefield. China, I just tell you, I follow this like you not believe, and Russia has plenty of munitions. So this line that they're running out, they've been supposedly out of ammo for what, like over a year now, supposedly. Lying. And look at this chick, whatever her name is here on Morning Joe. I forget her name. It's not worth even knowing. But her dad was this guy, wasn't he? Brzezinski. And he wrote the Grand Chessboard, which pretty much, if you've never read this horrible satanic Bible, it basically is exactly what's going on about balkanization of Russia, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, the plan of what's happening right now was basically, written by her dad. And, now we have this guy here talking the same worn out line that, China and Russia might be, as far as BRIC nations, might be partnering because, well, after Russia, who's next? Brzezinski wrote China is next. So wouldn't it make sense that they would be allied together? Because, well, there was a book that her dad wrote that outlined how we're going to balkanize both of those countries. So, and use them for our purposes. Anyway, what's this one about? Oh, I lost it. Oh, this is a very interesting story. Here in Arizona, we're very close to all this stuff, and this stuff's happening all the time. Moments ago, we encountered a 2-year-old boy unaccompanied. Unaccompanied minor who was abandoned at the border, according to a migrant woman who found the boy. We don't know that that's actually true. She may know him. He's wearing a makeshift ID with a Louisiana address on it. Yeah, I'm sure he's from Louisiana. We encountered them with a group of Chinese nationals who just crossed illegally into Texas. And so anyway, I just share this because this stuff is happening, and it's just a shame. Here in Arizona, we're seeing it definitely because luckily I'm not a border town, border city, but the sadness of what's coming across the border. People don't necessarily realize the having that open, the human suffering that's causing. It's a billions of dollars industry getting these people across the border. And if we close the border, I know it sounds mean, but we stop a tremendous amount of human suffering. Russia is open to negotiations with Ukraine. We'll discuss China's peace initiative. Here's the thing. This is the thing about the current administration. What Russia did, what Putin and Xi did, Xi Jinping. I'm not saying that I really, like China, the CCP, nor do I want to live in Russia. But I'm just saying that these two strategic world leaders, I think Putin's 1,000 times smarter than Xi, but still, these two met and they talked about possible, negotiations in Ukraine, and they're kind of putting forth some ideas that they would like to pull Ukraine in to talk about. But of course, it was kind of a setup because our collective our administration has, been just going off, losing their minds about we will not accept any negotiations between, China, Russia, and Ukraine. They're all unacceptable. And so supposedly we're not at war, yet we're funding it, yet all the weapons are coming from us. We're supposedly not at war, but when Russia and China get together and try to negotiate some, possible peace ideas, want to pull Ukraine into the into the discussion. Of course, Zelensky refuses because he's an administrative assistant for the White House at NATO, and basically, boom. So what they did was in front of the entire world. Russia and China, basically as BRICS, said that we'd like to pull Ukraine into the into the discussion here. Could we have some kind of possible peace deal? And Zelensky says no, and of course the collective West just says nothing is acceptable other than a regime change in Russia. So we just look like complete warmongers in front of the whole world. Good going, Brandon. All right. So with that said, what else? Yeah, this is the same story. Sorry. Anyway, just interesting. It's like I say, living here in Arizona, we just see it all the time, and it's really sad. Like I say, the border. I wish it's such a shame. I don't even know how to actually get it across to people. I'm just saying, oh, if we just closed it, it would seem mean for a day. But if you the what do you call it, the one gap and the whole trek up through South America, getting here is literally hell. And like they even mentioned Chinese nationals, that it ain't just people who are there are piles of passports as you get closer to the border with Texas, closer to the border with Arizona. There's piles and piles of passports that get tossed, and I'll even provide pictures if you guys want to see them, because countries that can't necessarily migrate here, like China right now, I believe is one of them. They just basically come to it's called the Gap down there. They fly into South American countries, and then they basically just walk up, and it's treacherous, it's terrible, it's so much human suffering, but we have no idea what's coming across that border. But we do know that a lot of human suffering is in play until you get to it, and even after you get across it. So anyway, just it's really sad that some poor little, can you even imagine, like a small child just unaccompanied, and luckily some people find it and bring that little child to the border. How could you as a parent live with your child being lost? I couldn't deal with my dog being lost. The suffering is absolutely horrific. So I hope that comes to an end. With that said, I always felt like I'm not from this generation. I just live in it, because the way my mindset differs from the majority, you'd think I come from a different dimension. That's why I keep things to myself, because a lot of people won't understand me. Keanu Reeves, really a pretty cool character. Anyway, in my opinion, that kind of embodies the Bitcoin truth seeker, the crypto truth seeker. Really, thank you for being an optimist. Thank you for stacking Satoshis. Every Bitcoin Satoshi you own is an incredible vote of confidence for a beautiful sci-fi, wonderful future for this world. So keep stacking those sats, keep being an optimist, and I'll see you tomorrow.